pictured on the screen is Merlin Lu. And this man probably studied Birth of a Nation film. He probably researched and studied the history of cross burnings in the United States. He's probably an expert on it, has a lot of knowledge about it. I believe he spent a lot of time nonstop studying topics concerning cross burnings in the United States. Yet, he seems to not be telling the complete truth. I'm going to quote what he said from NBC News website. "I did know about the historical relevance beforehand, but I didn't know the severity, how racially motivated it may seem from what I did. Because my protest has nothing to do with race, nothing to do with gender." That's him talking about cross burning and what he did. If he knew the historical relevance, then I believe that he knew how it would be perceived. Merlin Lu is a 21-year-old man that has admitted to setting a cross on fire in Chicago. At first, he was a person of interest, but he has recently turned himself in. I'm not sure which exact ethnicity of Asian that he is. Merlin Lu. Lu is a pretty common Chinese surname, I think, but you can find that name, Lu, in other ethnicities as well. But I believe this man is a liar, and I will tell you why. I'm surprised that he was actually charged with a hate crime. For some reason, I just thought he would be charged with arson, because a lot of times people aren't charged in a way that properly reflects their crime. So this man has been charged with arson and a hate crime. Social nerves here. Let's get into this. Merlin Lu was arrested Monday on 4 felony counts and 4 misdemeanor counts related to the incident on June 9th. This article that I'm reading is dated June 18th, 2026. So, in his interview as to why he burned a large cross in Grand Park, he states that it was targeted towards mega Christians, and he's upset with President Donald Trump. Now, he said that he was unaware of how intensely the burning of a cross is seen in America. He's claiming he did not know how this historical act is a reflection of racial terrorism against Black people. According to him, he burned that cross to protest the federal government, and he did not intend for it to be a hate crime. Yet, he watched Birth of a Nation. If you don't know what Birth of a Nation is, Google it, right? It does include KKK depiction and behavior. So that is why I believe he's lying. This man is a college student. I do not believe that he is unaware of what the burning of the cross represents. I think that he wanted to send a message, right? And that message is to Black America, and he wanted to pretend that maybe a Caucasian or a European did it. Let me tell you something. It seems that a lot of the immigrants in America, be it they are first generation or they themselves have immigrated, is backfiring in a way, right? Because these people are promoted a lot of times as being better than. Merlin Lu could face multiple years in prison, 3 to 7 years or more, depending on what he's convicted of, and if those convictions are served back to back. He also faces fines. I'm wondering if a plea deal will be offered, because this guy doesn't have a criminal background. He's a senior in college. I'm just not sure. I'm wondering if his crime can be prosecuted at the federal level, because the information I read about his crime was at the state level. But I'm wondering if it can be prosecuted at a federal level, and more years maybe can be added on to his crime, because what he did is a hate crime. It's considered racial intimidation against Black Americans. It is considered a form of terrorism. And this guy wants us to believe that he did not think what he did would have an impact concerning racial perceptions of the act. Yet he watched Birth of a Nation. Now, Mr. Lu is no fool. And he probably, I'm speculating, studied the KKK, their behavior. He studied the history of cross burnings. And I believe he knows a lot about it and what the impact of what he did represents and how it would affect the Black community. Now, there was no uprise or protest about it, but we are going to talk about cross burnings. So shame on Merlin Lu. He's claiming that his act was directed at the government. I'm not so sure that it was. Because there are other things he could have done to protest the government. When he did this, in his mind, he was thinking, oh, I'll get away with it and they'll think a white person did it. And he probably has some sort of dislike or concern in a negative way about Black America. Probably. I'm speculating. I don't know. We'll see what happens in his case once it reaches court and everything plays out. I'm going to continue to follow what's going on with this guy. Social Nurse.